Our next speaker is David Goldwich. The title of his speech is Don't Be Vanilla. It will be interesting to see and hear what the wonderful speech will be about. To help us explain what he means by don't be vanilla, I present you David Goldwich.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As speakers, we should have two objectives. First, I'm sorry, forgive me, I'm so rude. I didn't offer my guests any refreshments. Would you like some ice cream?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, Laureen, what flavor would you like?
Vanilla.
I'm sorry, you can't have vanilla. Pick another flavor.
Chocolate.
Chocolate's a great choice. I'm an unabashed chocoholic myself. I'll join you afterwards. Phyllis, what flavor would you like?
I love vanilla.
I'm sorry, we don't serve vanilla. Sarah, what flavor would you like?
Chocolate for sure.
Chocolate. The chocolates seem to have it. But generally, vanilla is a very popular flavor. Why is vanilla so popular? Is it because it's so delicious? Not really. It's plain, it's boring, it's really just a base flavor. Vanilla is something that very few people love, but perhaps its saving grace is very few people hate it. Okay? Vanilla is popular because it doesn't offend anyone. Ben & Jerry's make some amazing flavors, but they're not for everybody. Some people are allergic to chocolate. I pity them. Some people get caramel stuck in their dentures. Some people break out into hives at the merest whiff of a peanut. But nobody ever died from eating vanilla. Vanilla is the lowest common denominator, and that's something you don't ever want to be. As I was saying, as speakers, we should have two objectives. The first is to offer value to our audience. Your audience is giving you two very precious things: their time and their attention. Face it, most people in your audience would rather be listening to somebody else or doing something else entirely. When they give you their time and attention, they're making an investment in you, and they want something in return for their investment. President John F. Kennedy said, "The only reason to give a speech is to change the world." Maybe not the whole world, but at least a part of their world. So always make sure you're giving value every time you speak. The second objective is to be memorable. Not to deliver a perfectly crafted, structured, and articulated speech. Not to impress people with your dramatic gestures and your wonderful vocal variety. Not to sound like all of the other stereotypically great speakers. Your job is to be remembered. You can't change the world if they don't remember you. In addition to these two objectives, every great speaker has two qualities: passion and authenticity. All of the early TED Talks were amazing because the speakers were all so passionate. I remember one of the first TED Talks I ever saw. It was delivered by a guy who had been in jail. And while he was in jail, he wanted to change his life. He started reading about the stock market and investing. When he got out of jail, he started speaking about financial literacy and becoming an investor and sharing that message to audiences that usually did not hear that kind of talk. He was passionate about it. Another TED Talk I recall was delivered by a homeless man. He advocated planting fruit trees in little patches of land around the city so that everybody could have something to eat before they went to bed. He was also passionate because he actually lived his message and believed it with his entire being. Steve Jobs is a passionate speaker. He's not very animated. His voice isn't the best. But you can tell from listening to him that he's passionate about his company, about his work, about the products they make. When Steve started talking in his trademark black turtleneck and jeans and dad sneakers, standing in front of a dark, dramatic background, it was unique. Since then, almost all CEOs try to be like Steve. You can't beat Steve at his own game, so don't even try. Showcase your own natural abilities and style, because nobody can beat you at the top of your game either. How many of you have heard of Zig Ziglar? Ziglar is probably the most successful motivational speaker of all time. He speaks with a Midwestern drawl. He sounds like a Southern Baptist preacher that you see on TV in the South. Personally, I find his voice tedious and annoying. I've played tapes of him, audio tapes, to international audiences, and most people in the world can't even understand him. A lot of Americans can't understand him either. And yet I've known professional speakers who try to emulate him. Why would anybody want to sound like him? He sounds good. People emulate him because he's the quintessential great speaker. He sounds like all the other great speakers, just like all the other guys on the radio, who sound like all the other guys on the radio. Plain vanilla. Don't be vanilla. If you like pistachio ice cream with chocolate chips, lima beans, and butterscotch syrup, go for it. Maybe people won't love that, but they will remember you. Toastmaster of the evening.